Hi, welcome to Koch ADV. This is the second video in a series about my road trip to find my perfect boat. In this video, we actually take a look at the boat I've made an offer on. She's a bit rough, but the question is, could she be turned into a modernized classic? Let's take a look.
Next we drove across to the west coast of Scotland to Girvan. Girvan sits on a beautiful river and has a nice little harbour with the lifeboat service, a very good shipbuilders that services mainly the fishing industry as I understand it. If you look closely on Google Maps, you can actually see the pilot boat. It's been sitting there for a while, and there she is in the left hand corner of the harbour. To stop the suspense, this is the boat I made an offer on, and in this video we'll just go over very quickly the boat, and in the future I'll dedicate a whole video to the boat and take you through her from stem to stern. Arriving at the Lunreath, a few things are instantly noticeable. Her size, her strong construction, but also the very poor condition she's in. Let's jump on board so I can show you the layout and the work that needs to be done. Here on the starboard side of the boat on the aft deck, and we can see the surface rust, the algae growth, the poor condition of the deck, and just generally a boat that has not been used and set out in the open for a long time. Moving forward on the starboard side, we can see the steel frame that's been put around the existing pilot house. Now the idea here was they were going to fully replace the pilot house, and this is potentially one of the biggest issues with the boat. So you either need to knock down the current pilot house and replace it with a new one, or you need to remove this framing, this new border, and you need to restore the existing wheelhouse. Now unfortunately the owners have sort of dismantled parts of the old wheelhouse. Either way you need to build, and the question is really going to be, what's the shortest route to operations, which in my view is just to keep the original boat as it is. On the foredeck we can see exposed steel with no protection, no painting. And we can see that the original escape hatch from the engine room has been removed and welded over. So this could be a potential problem should I want to get the boat coded under the Coast Guard rules for a workboat or passenger boat. That may have to be reinstalled. Entering the pilot house, we can see it's been completely stripped, all electrics, all lights, all paneling. And if you look closely at the windows, you'll be able to see the gaps. They're actually not screwed into place, some of them. So in some ways this is actually exposed to the elements, not a really great condition to be in. We can also see that the original floor plan has been removed. Again, we've got these portholes here which are there to let light into below decks. The floor has now been lowered below the portholes, blocking light below decks, and the original stair position has been filled in and moved to the starboard aft corner of the wheelhouse. Moving forward, we enter the steering house. We can see the console and the captain's chair has been left intact. This was so the boat could still be moved during renovations. However, looking at the console, we can see a lot of detritus, and it's unclear the amount of work needed to recommission the equipment. I am interested to see if the old electronics work, and this will be one of the areas of investigation once I get on board. The fuses are intact, but there's a lot of wiring which looks messy, and I don't know if everything is connected and if the only job is to tidy the wiring, or we need to have a complete rewire here. There is a fire alarm panel, and I'm not sure what this box is for, but potentially it controls the navigation and working lights. We can see that we have a good view aft over the deck house, which makes this a great boat for visibility at sea. Before we wrap up, let's take a quick look below decks. The previous owner has replaced the original fittings, and there are some things which are not great for a ship at sea, such as these large metal handles which could potentially lead to injury, and the doors are closed by magnets, which is not so secure in a big sea. Also, the kitchen is larger than needed. We have two seating areas, one next to the kitchen, and then if you turn around there's another one over here next to the toilet. This aft toilet is not yet commissioned, and the floor needs to be lowered so I can stand up inside. Moving further aft, we can take a peek into the master cabin. This is okay for the short term, but longer term might have to be redone to improve the layout. Moving to the forward cabin, there are 4 berths, and interestingly, if we go through the forward bulkhead into the chain locker, we find that there's a toilet and shower in there. We have storage for the crew, and the escape hatch. A lot of this work is okay, but there are sections which will have to be redone longer term.
That's it, very short video. And as this goes to publication, we are actually closing the sale today. So I'll do further videos on it, but I'm preparing to go to the UK next week to start working on it. That's going to be a bit of a challenge. I need to bring it into code. She's going to be a Swiss registered ocean-going yacht, so I need a bit of work to do to make her comply. I also need to obtain my own RYA Yachtmasters offshore qualifications. I've done a lot of sailing, but I've never got the formal qualifications, so we'll see how that goes. I'm training in January, and there's a lot of project planning to do. Over the coming months, you'll see a lot of content on me about me training, about doing the boat, about bringing a Swiss ocean-going yacht into code, and I thank you for being part of that journey. Have a great day.